Hello, hello, hello. Bonjour, hola, konnichiwa, sat shri hekal. And hello in every other language. My name is Kamel Rule. Welcome to The Golden Rule. Thank you for making it to episode 6. Episode 6 is titled Sex. Basically, it's the title. It wasn't supposed to rhyme, 6 and sex, and you're listening to this in June, which is like a very sexual month because people go outside, wear bathing suits. Summer is the time where women wear less clothes, and men usually can't control themselves. I did not plan for all of this to link up at the same time, but it did. So we're rolling with it. First off, shout out to the sponsors. Rest in peace to my grandma. Rest in peace to my other grandma. Those were my sponsors, which took part in creating my parents, my other sponsors. Shout out to them. Why are they my sponsors? Because they created me. And I'm here to give you these experiences and beliefs. Without them, I wouldn't be here. Those are the original sponsors. Shout out to Starbucks. I'm drinking a regular Pike Place today. It's the coffee with the least amount of sugar, the healthiest thing on the menu. Don't take my word for it. Shout out to Trader Joe's Natural Mountain Spring Water. Natural Spring Mountain Water is the same thing. It tastes hella good. Shout out to all of the tech we have. Shout out to the Champions League. If you watch football, you know the Champions League has begun. It's the most prestigious tournament in the world. Everybody loves it. All right, so let's get into it. In my last 2 episodes, we talked about the relationship umbrella and how you're pretty much in relationships with different people, throughout your experience, traveling through this earth on different levels, and you put different actions and different time into those relationships. It's all different levels. Then we went to romantic relationships, talking about like knowing what you want or maybe not knowing what you want, and how that may sit with people, how you treat people, how people treat you, how that turns around into treating the whole situation of casual dating or, long-term romantic dating, things like that. Now, something that could have went before romantic relationships, but will go after, sex. You know what sex is. I think you do. Have you ever had sex? I'm sure you have. Sex is amazing. Sex is a great thing. Sex feels great. Sex is like the natural workout, I feel. Hopefully you feel like you're working out when you have sex, if you do have sex. If you and your mate, are doing it, and then it's done, you're like, man, that was such a great workout. Now let's drink a protein shake. Let's make breakfast, because we just worked off hella calories, right? You would think so. You would hope so. But what does this have to do with the golden rule? What does this have to do with the evolved golden rule? This goes with treating people how you want to be treated or treating people how they treat you. This also goes with treating the situation, how you want the situation to work out for you or how the situation has treated you. I feel this goes back to this casual online dating world that we're in. I'm not sure if any of you have ever experienced it, but you can download apps and talk to people. Very simple, right? You can download apps and talk to people. Yes, you can download apps and talk to people. And if you don't know if you're only looking for sex, or maybe you are, you can connect with people who are on that same wavelength. You can also connect with people who aren't sure if they are on that same wavelength. This causing confusion as we move forward. Because you could be a guy or a woman on these dating apps, and you're like, I just don't know what I want. I'm just here looking, right? And then you go on a date with somebody. You're like, okay, I like this woman or fellow. They look nice. They, carry a great conversation. Let's hang out. Then you're hanging out. You're on a date, right? You're 3 drinks in. And you're like, you might not even think about it. You probably don't. You're like, I might let loose. I'm having fun right now. Why not have more fun? And then without discussing it, without discussing the future, 2 people engage in intercourse. Bam! Da-na-na-na-na. The music's playing. It's slow motion. You're touching. You're grabbing. Everything feels so good in the moment. It's amazing. You're like, oh my God. It would be so tight if K-Mel was narrating the situation in the background. And you're like, okay, he goes in for the kiss and boom, bam, boom. That's the only thing that would make it just a little bit better. Hit me up if you want narration for your situations. That would be low-key fire. I don't want to see what you're doing. I'm just saying I'll narrate it for people who do want to see what you're doing. Hold up. So then after that situation's over, it's amazing, right? You guys had a great time. You guys didn't discuss anything about what you want after this. Not saying you even have to, because that puts a lot of pressure on some people. Like I said, it could be either way. Male or female could want more. Male or other female is like, honestly, that was fun. I had a great time. But I don't think we should do anything more. I had fun. And that could lead to a broken cycle of the person who wanted more, then getting back into that dating pool, that casual pool, and treating the situation how it was treated to him or her. Why? Because, maybe this person sees that, oh, most people are doing this. I should do this too. Or, damn, I exerted hella emotion towards this person, and now I feel hurt, and now I don't want to, give any more emotion towards anybody. And I'm just going to, treat people how I was treated. Go along with the majority of the casuality in the situation. Do you think sex is a casual situation to be had? I ask this question, for you to sit and think about it wherever you may be at in your life right now. You may ultimately just say yes. You may say, no, that's not the type of person I am. You may feel like no right now, but yes tomorrow. You may feel like yes right now, but no in like 2 months, based on an experience you had. Or you might not even have had an experience. You might have just changed your mind. The results of sex technically are to have a child, right? That's when the world started. It's like, okay, what are 2 people having sex for? More than likely to create a child. As time went on, there are ways to have sex without creating a child. It's really just to do it. It's like, oh, I don't want to have a kid right now, but let's still do this, without the natural result happening. Some people have sex just for money. In their worlds, the man or the woman, they may rid themselves of emotions by, paying for it or being paid for it. Do you think that emotions are still had in all of these situations? I think so. And that's a result of sex, I believe. Emotions. Now, some people are really good with just hiding their emotions or not paying any attention to them at all. Like, yes, I have this emotion, but it really doesn't mean anything, because I'm going to do what I want to do, which is not wrong at all. We live in a world of freedom to where all these things that I have talked about, they're free agent choices. I don't mean free agent like in basketball. Like, what I'm saying is I am the agent in my life. I have free will. I have control. And I am making this choice to be celibate or to go into relationships and tell women, hey, I'm just here for sex and nothing more. Or go into these situations and say, hey, I am not here for sex. And even though it would be amazing to have, I would not like to have it until I know that, we're going to be something serious. We're going to last. Yeah. So like I said, the situation is pretty much what the golden rule is paired with. Not treating people how you want to be treated, but treating the situation, how you want it. You want the situation to treat you or how the situation has treated you. But even with going forward in that, in the dating world, the sexual world, there's still people involved. So it always comes back to people. Always. What's my experience with sex? I know you're probably wondering. I am not going to get into detail with that with you. Like I said, it's pretty much it's not super confidential information, but out of respect for women and myself, you don't need to know the details about these situations. This is going to be a shorter episode than most, maybe. Sex is cool, but there's not really much to talk about when I'm getting to my point. But yeah, my broad experiences with this, I've had sex with women. I've been celibate, which is super cool. Just to not build any sexual, connections with anybody that I'm not ready to go forward with. I've been celibate twice for like 4 months. I've had sex in the casual dating world. I've had sex in relationship world where it's like, hey, let's be together forever and we're the only people we're having sex with. I've had sex with more than one woman at the same time. You're like, oh my God, that's so cool. And it's like, is it? Yeah, it is. It's not the greatest thing ever in the world. It's not like greater than having $1 million, I would assume. But it's cool. It's cool. Try it out maybe if you want to. Where I'm at now, I'm not really trying to create sexual connections with anybody that I don't plan going forward with in the world. Because it's happened before. And I feel like it left both parties really confused. Unless you're, a prostitute or somebody paying for sex, I feel like when you have sex, there's going to be feelings and connections. I could be wrong. Not everybody's the same. This is kind of what we stand on with everybody, having the freedom to have their choices. But what I'm saying is I know that I have feelings. I've felt it before. I've been casual with situations. And then after it's done or after I wake up the next morning, I'm like, damn, I'm low-key depressed because I'm a cuddler. I'm a spin timer. I'm not just a smash and leaver. Leave her. Damn, that's a bar. A terrible bar. That's like a future bar. Anywho, that's not deep down me. But as we spoke to treating situations, how they are, and how they've treated you, I've tried to mold myself into not having those feelings after these situations. And I was just like, I tried it, but that's not really me. I know alcohol helped. But then still, after I become sober, yeah, man, that's not really me. Shout out to, what was it? Being celibate and also being sober. Remember I told you I stopped drinking? I think it was my birthday. I went not drinking for like 2 months. It was a long time. But then that adds to drinking less and less. Shout out to that. But yes, we are all in control of these situations, I feel. And what this episode really means to me, or the point I hope to get to across, is your choices when having sex. You could do whatever you want. You don't have to listen to me. You are listening to me, so thank you. But going forward, you don't have to listen to me. Listen to your feelings. Why I say this, or why I voice these opinions, like I said, is my own, with how I was feeling after doing something that I think is very serious, and then trying to act like it's not that serious. Like, it is whatever. That's not how I feel. I believe it's serious. And shout out to women, shout out to men, shout out to the human race. But women I talk to, what I can say for them, because I can't speak for all women. I can't even speak for being a woman because I'm not one. With the experiences I have listening to them and the data collected from these conversations, they feel bad. They want love. Most women want true love. I say most, like 8 out of 10, I would think. Right? But also, I can see some women getting connected to these situations and how they're being played by the majority. Like, going online and, finding love quickly. And then having sex quickly. And then realizing that most men, after they have sex, they're just probably going to dip off. Or invest less feelings into the situation because subconsciously they already got what they wanted. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing that they really have to work for going forward because they already had sex. And they may feel different than you. You may feel like, oh my God, that was amazing. We made love. The guy may feel like, oh shit, we had sex. She probably has sex with other people she meets, the first time she meets them. Oh shit, I'm going to back away from this situation. That was in that movie, Think Like a Man. Remember the 90-day rule for women? Like, don't have sex with men, within 90 days. I believe in that. I believe if women do that, that would change the course of the world. Because if women hold off on having sex with men, you will really see which men want to stick it out with you, which men really want to invest in you. Which relationships have more to offer than just you guys fucking, like, can you do so much other stuff before having sex, and then you have sex and you're like, oh my God, that was amazing. Okay, let's go back to, reading together and creating together, or sitting in silence, going out to eat, going on vacations, doing all this other stuff that has nothing to do with sex. Because sex is, such a simple thing. Love, making love, having sex. So yeah, crazy stuff, right? You would think. One other thing I notice is there's a lot of single mothers online. Shout out to single mothers. It takes a lot of strength to be a single mother. Again, I can't totally speak to that. I don't have the experience of being a single mother. I do not have any kids, so I am not a single father or a person that, is connected to a woman with kids. But what I can say from what I've heard and from what I know is that it's tough. And then there's women online, looking for love, looking for relationships, and they have kids. And most guys are like, I don't want that. But, we can hang out and do the dirty. And then it's like a reoccurring cycle. A result, like I said earlier, from having sex naturally is having a kid. It's something I always think about before I was, or before I'm having sex or before I was having sex. It's always a question. It's like, oh shit, are we going to use protection? Is this woman on birth control? Is this girl going to try and trap me? People can be defensive. I think these are things to think about. You don't have to think about them because, like I said, a lot of times things just happen in the moment. Boom, we're partying. Boom, we're having sex. Boom, we don't really think about the consequences. I would hope that you think more about the consequences of the feelings that you may leave behind. You may leave beautiful feelings if you're a person like me that really invests in the love making process. When I make love, I don't really ask the woman to do anything. I'm like, all right, lay back. This is what's going to happen for the next 45 minutes. Hopefully you're going to feel amazing. Ready, set, go. I don't ask like, hey, do this, hey, do that. Because if a woman wants to do it, she's going to just naturally do it. You don't really have to ask these questions. I don't think so. I'm not you. You're not me. So yeah, with that said, communication and honesty, which is something I've learned after experiencing things, because I feel like experience is our best teacher. I feel like women love honesty. I know that women love honesty. I don't even have to feel that way. So from going forward and being like, hey, this is what I have to offer. This is what I plan to do. It goes a long way. It saves a lot of heartache. It saves a lot of confusion. One thing I've learned in this casual, I don't even want to just say it's online. It could be, without online. This could just be how people work. Lack of information, lack of providing information. What I mean is two people being together. Talked about this in an earlier episode, but this has to do with sex. You would think it's more serious, right? Unless you ask the question, hey, are you having sex with other people? You will not know, because most people aren't just, voluntarily indulging this information. Now, this may put two people at a standstill because two people may be doing that same thing, not wanting to, give off this information to the other. So it's just two people, going without knowing, and that may be okay for them. There are a lot of open relationships out there. There are a lot of open relationships out there with honesty. There are a lot of things you learn as you grow up. That was something so weird to me. I'm like, wait, people are together, but they have sex with other people? What? That's so crazy to me. To each their own. But what? Imagine me being with a girl and saying, hey, baby, I want to be with you. And then being like, yeah, it's cool if you have sex with other people. What? I'm sorry. That's just my natural thought process. Like I said, I apologize because I'm not disrespecting anybody that chooses to do that. I'm just saying my natural thought process was confusion. Like, why are we even going to be together? It is what it is. Yeah. But yes, I hope this helped with thinking about sex before having it. It is a very animalistic action to just do. Rawr. It's something I want to do often without even thinking about it. But asking questions and thinking about the outcomes, it's very serious, I believe, especially as you get older, especially as you connect with more people, especially as your relationship umbrella widens, and especially if you're living in Sacramento. I just saw this video the other day. It was a interview. People do interviews on the street. Somebody comes up to you with a mic and you're like, oh shit, I need to run away because I'm gonna be on the internet with whatever question is asked to me. It was asking about the dating pool in Sacramento, and most people had the same answer. Oh my God, it's trash. Oh my God, it's terrible. Oh my God, everybody knows everybody. Oh my God, ... I had a bad experience with this person, so everybody is terrible since I had one bad experience with this person. I understand. It makes sense. I said that to say that people will have bad experiences and they will carry them forward into situations. They will be safeguards for them, They will go into a situation and be like, oh shit, this may look familiar. I got to stay back a little bit. They also may not. They may have had these bad experiences and continue to do the same self-sabotaging things and get the same result, and then go back into a reoccurring circle of, man, this sucks. This place sucks. This dating pool sucks. Men suck. Women suck. Do whatever you want, but don't be like that. Self-care is amazing. Self-actualization and realization is even more amazing. And like said in past episodes, and even in this episode, I've been a terrible person before. I do not believe that I am now. So I haven't been in any terrible situations, where I want to blame another person or that I am to blame, because my conscience is clear and I know I didn't do anything wrong. And I know I approached that situation with honesty and open communication. So I have nothing to worry about in those senses. And I wish the same thing for you. I believe the same thing for you, if you believe in that. And if you don't, and you're young, and you feel like, oh, I don't need to tell this girl anything that she didn't ask, that's a slippery slope, my friend. It would probably be best if you did tell her, but I understand because I was young at one time too. And you want to withhold this information because you feel like if you disclose this information, it's going to end in a way you don't want it to. Like, oh, if I tell this girl this information, she's not going to want to fuck with me anymore. Yeah, more than likely, because it's probably some information that's not good for her to hear. And that's why you're withholding that information, sir. I feel like that's very basic, but hey, whatever. Do what you want. Keep putting into this dating pool, allowing women to say, hey, this dating pool is trash because I've had these situations that I didn't make up. These are true situations. And stop trying to justify your wrongs. First, I say, do whatever you want, but trying to justify your wrongs is terrible. It's terrible. So, like I said, this episode isn't going to be super long. It's very basic. People have sex. Be safe when you're having sex. Be honest when you're having sex if you want to. Be honest with your intentions of having sex. And I know speaking your intentions before, the action happens may kill the mood. And you may think that, because the absence of information brings mystery. And it's like, oh, what we don't know won't hurt us. Boom. Like I always say, do whatever you want. But I feel like these things go a long way. Hey, look at me. This is me just telling you how I do things in my experiences. And I could pick up my phone and have sex tonight if I wanted to, but I'm probably not. But hey, I'm just putting this out there. Ooh, that was almost a clean goal. So yes, again, before I dip out, I just wanted to say thank you for listening to me. I wanted to say thank you for having this conversation with me, because in your conscience, I know you're speaking to yourself while listening to this, or you're saying, oh my God, yes, at that same time. And that's what comments and questions and all those things are for. I hope this helped. If you have any disagreements, I hope to hear those, so I can be a better person. And if I have any tips with sex, like I've already maybe said, be honest. Invest in your woman's pleasure, because for me, the pleasure I get in sex is the pleasure that she gets. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel. That's how I've always felt. Thank you so much for listening to me, to episode 6. Like I said, this is a 3-part trilogy, but it's really a whole connection because all these connect together. The next episode is called Infidelity and Honesty, which connects to sex, which connects to relationships, which connects to the relationship umbrella, which connects to love and life and the golden rule and being alive and the love we show while we are alive. So yes, I thank you for listening. Make love, not war. Have great relationships. Thank you again. I love you. I will talk to you sooner than soon. All right, peace.